exchange. And there comes some point that Mississippi, what's his name downstairs? That restaurant,
Mississippi
yeah.
Rick.
He will say, you know what? I don't want this either. You got here too. I don't want this either. And so you're gonna bring the both dollars in, and that's how we're gonna trade and barter and save. And what's gonna happen? But enough of these property values gonna come down, you'll be able to buy property dirt cheap. Because everything will be just collapse. Okay, so we see 13 states have already made or intended to make gold and silver a legal tender. Okay, next. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna go real briefly to gonna bring up some charts on silver, just to let you know what is happening, and then we'll open up the questions and answers. Now, let me say this before I do this. Let me say real quick. How few people in here know anything about fractional reserve banking. That's a sophisticated term of how they create money. Now, I'm gonna give you an example of what's happening. What happened in the old days, people who were very rich, they would have gold and silver. This is heavy stuff. And they didn't want to carry, when we was kids, the silver dollars would eventually wear what? And hold a pocket. That's why they gave you the silver certificates before they took it off the market. What happened was, back in the old days, you would put your silver or gold in a goldsmith. Just say you had $10,000 worth of gold. Say you had 100 ounces. You would put it in a goldsmith, and he would give you a registration. He would give you a note, what they call it. I can't think of it right now. It's a gold registration, but it's a receipt, a warehouse receipt. That's what we call a warehouse receipt. And what happened was, this is how it happens. The guy that had the warehouse receipt, he would go around the city and just give people the warehouse receipt. If you wanted something for $10,000, he said, well, listen, here's the warehouse receipt. The guy said, okay, that's good. That's down there. And they're able to trade this warehouse receipt as money. Well, here's the goldsmith. And he's had 1,000 ounces of gold in here, and he realized that 10% of the gold never went anywhere. So what he would do then, he would make loans on, remember he only got 100 ounces, so he got 1,000 ounces. Then he would make loans on 10,000 ounces of gold. So he only got 100 ounces, 1,000 ounces. So he would create these loans, or he actually now has created money out of what? Out of air. And you walk around paying on these loans, but that money's not backed by anything. To understand that, they do the same thing in the airlines. The airline always sells more what? Seats than are available. Always the name of the game. He said, wait a minute, how you got 1,000 seats? How you gonna sell 1,500 seats, man? Oh, we didn't think you were gonna come down there. That's not irrelevant. But you won't stand by. And we'll fix you. But they got your what? Money. That's the name of the game. These people are manipulators. Now, as we close here, I remember some of the questions I asked you, because they may be very profitable for you. Up there, the only difference is when I go to pay my taxes, what's going to happen in the state of Illinois? They'll wake up one day and say, you know what? You can pay your taxes in silver, and just say silver is $500. Well, you take 5 ounces down there, it's $100, and you leave it there, and the guy says, okay, we'll take this. That's the silver made by the government. Now they won't take this, you gotta pay taxes on this. Because this is not considered money. It says this is not legal what? Tender. Legal tender is what the government has minted by the U.S. Mint. Any questions?
Yeah. Think about silver, Asian silver, like chunks or like you would craft with jewelry or something?
Oh yeah, you buy what they call silver bars.
Okay, so that
You buy bars and stuff like that, as long as your money is. Or if you go and I should have watched it today. They have what they call little beads of silver that the jeweler makes, and when they heat it up, you can buy that silver beads, pure silver. They make bracelets and stuff out. You can buy that online.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Two questions. What are some of the ways you would test it? Because I'm not knowledgeable about silver, so how would I go about testing?
The silver, that's why I say, you see these dimes here? They don't need no testing. Don't need no testing because it's minted by what? Look at it. It's a dime. You can see the dime. You old enough to know what this dimes are. All you gotta do is give him money, he'll give you these.
Okay.
So when you go to the store, or when you buy land, the guy says, oh, I know about these. How much land, how much do you got? I got a bunch of land to sell you. So it won't be no problem with counterfeiting this.
Now, do you think that there would be, this genre of silver suitable for bartering as well?
Oh, the bars are,
Bar-
the bars and the rounds. Remember, listen, I have friends that got, he said, man, I got 10 100 ounces bars. That's all I need. I said, bro, you made a wise decision. But let me tell you this. You got 100 ounces of silver. He said, yeah, it's a 100 ounce bar. I said, let me tell you this. I said, and silver go to $500. And you got, what? 100 ounces of silver. I said, you know how much money that is? Now, how you gonna take a 100 ounce bar and silver is $500 when you gonna buy a loaf of bread or some food? It can be done, but it's not in small enough what? Units. You gotta have small units to be able to barter. I mean, even on 1 ounce, they say 1 ounce. 1 ounce, and silver is $500. 1 ounce of silver is $500. Not unless you're finna go and jewel and buy a whole lot of stuff. But with a silver, but listen, with a dime, it's worth $50. So I can go in with my dime and buy me $50 worth of stuff. I said, listen, I want you keep the change. I want that mess. See, you see, but that's the point. You want them in small enough units. That's why we say the dimes and quarters and half dollars. Because what's going to happen? Let me tell you. This is the clue. The dimes will go eventually. They're $2. They become $5, $10, $20. Then they become $50. And Lord help me if we go to $1,000 silver. This is $100. And bread you don't even want to think about. But so then you begin to see then that the quarters will be the 50s and the 100s. And so you can always use it as a medium of what? Exchange. That's the whole idea. You want small units that's easily recognized. Nobody will question this one. They use it in the Philippines. They use it in Yugoslavia. They use it all over American silver coins. Then nobody question. All they want to do is 90% silver. We ain't got no problem with it. Any other questions?
Yeah, on your chart, you were saying that you had bought gold at 72, and it was like, what was the price?
I didn't say I bought it.
Gold
I said gold was $35 an ounce
Right.
in 1971.
And then it went up to what, like $600?
It's $1,700 today.
Okay, well, but you said that silver would double faster.
Exactly.
Actually, gold was 100 times faster than what silver doubled to. Am I correct?
Well then, let me say this. Currently now, if you had bought silver back in, if you had bought, say you had bought silver back at the same time, silver was about $2 or $3. So silver went from $3, $2 or $3 up to $50. So roughly about
That's 25 times.
That's 25 times.
But the gold went from $32 to $1,700. That's more than 25 times.
Exactly. That would be the best investment that you would make at that time.
At that time.
At that time.
Okay.
Now you at 1,700.
It would be more difficult.
It'd be more difficult to move up.
Okay.
Lee, when the dollar falls, that does create a domino effect for other nations that may be holding some of the U.S. paper dollars. However, with foreign coins, say from Australia or from some other country, how does that equate to the coins that we have, U.S. coins?
If they got, there's Canadian silver, there's Australian silver, everybody's got silver, some silver minted somewhere else. When the whole problem is the whole world is gonna lose faith in paper, so they're gonna use these coins.
Okay, so it's best to hold foreign coins?
No, it's best by you gonna hold foreign coins, but mainly U.S. minted coins.
Yes, thank you.
So, pre-63, 65 nickels and quarters?
Pre-64, 65, 64 and back, 64, 63, 62, dimes, quarters, half dollars, and silver dollars. Now, there was during the war, 42, 43, 44, 45, there were quarters that were made of silver. I mean, nickels that were made of silver, 35% silver. But they were only made for about 4 or 5 years, because they took the nickel they were making the bombs during the war. But mainly silver is the dimes, quarters, half dollars, and silver dollars. And there are silver eagles, which is a full ounce. That's U.S. currency.
Lee,
Now, Go ahead.
Now, I've got a couple of nickels that are like 2007, 2006. They're not as heavy as the other nickels that are real nickels. So are they as valuable because they are nickels?
Nickels are worth about 8 cents now, in terms of metal value right now.
Are those nickels?
Let me tell you a
200?
story. One of my white friends called me. He said, "Listen, Lee, I went down to that bank and get some nickels. And they told me they ain't got no nickels." I said, "What you mean they ain't got no nickels?" He said, "They ain't got none. They got to order someone from the Fed." I said, "You know what that means?" He said, "No." I said, "People are hoarding nickels because of the metal content in the nickels. They're worth 8 cents. So people are buying nickels now and got them stacked up in the corner because they know at some point the nickel, any metal is worth getting more than what? Paper. Anybody knows that. I told you 10 dimes is worth $3. I mean $30.
So with the nickel that was minted in 2000, they're just as, because they're nickel, they still have value.
They still have value, but that some have more nickel than others. It's just like today. The copper penny in 1982 and back, those copper penny, the penny was 90% copper. The pennies now, there's zinc and just have a copper cover. And the penny, if you got a 1982 penny, a 1960 penny, it's worth 3 cents. Just in the copper value. Now remember, when stuff got crazy, everybody was stealing what? Copper, metals, everybody was stealing. You better not leave no copper outside. And they were cutting wires and everything else. You know, because people understood the dollar was falling. When metal get crazy, you know, they were stripping aluminum off of houses just to get the money. This is how crazy it's gonna get. Any other questions? Okay, I got a question for somebody. One of the first questions here, let me pull out these dimes here. Take you just a moment. I should have had some tickets, so I didn't do it, forgot it. But I'll do it this way. Listen, the question is,
Dr. Warner, while you put the question together, I want everybody in here to recognize the Honorable Harold Lucas, who's the Executive Director over Brownsville. Yeah, but he's the visionary behind the place that we're in. He's Executive Director of the Brownsville Visitor Information Center. All these people are here. See Dr. Lee Warren. Doc knows Harold already, so I just want the public to know that we're here and we appreciate this opportunity.
Welcome.
okay, what we're gonna do, the question I was gonna ask is for, you have a choice. Whoever answers the question. Now, you either can get, you can get some paper money. You're welcome to have it. I'm gonna give you $1, or you can take 10 dimes. The question is, can you name me at least 3 nations that are no longer trading in dollars? Maybe 3 of them. Maybe 3 of them. I don't know how shit would be. I gotta be unbiased. And that's hard to do, so if I spin around, what does this man say? What name me 3 of them?
China, Japan.
Gotta come. China, Japan, and who else? Shake it. What do you want now? You want this?
Yeah, here we are.
Okay. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Man got $1. The hidden value is how much? $30. Okay. The next question. Said I gotta do 3. The next question will be concerning. Let me see. Let me do this one better. Make it simple. What are the 2 types of silver? Well, there's 2 types of silver generally. What are the 2 types of silver? And so there's 2 types of silver. There's 2 categories. You already won, so what are 2 types? You got one of them. One more time. You got one of them.
Mint?
You said what? Mint? Now what do you want? That's right. You mint means U.S. Mint. That's money. So what do you want? We want this?
I don't want that.
Okay. Okay, I gotta give you 10 diamonds. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 diamonds. Okay. I got one more, and I'm gonna give away an ounce of silver. Okay. So you see there the two types of silver. The two general categories is what they call money silver or minute silver, made by the U.S. Mint, and what they call non-money is rounds, bars, and etc. That's the two types of silver that they use for investments in two categories. Okay. The third question I'm going to ask is concerning. Let me do it this way. I'm trying to see. What is it? Okay, let's go this way. I'm trying to make it real simple. Okay. This is a question. It's kind of simple. The question is, when the U.S. sanctioned Iran and said couldn't nobody buy no oil, they couldn't trade in dollars, tell me, what did this nation do to buy oil from Iran? Again, when Iran was sanctioned by the U.S., I put a sanction on them. Couldn't nobody trade with them in dollars. I want to know the two nations, at least name one of the two nations, and what did they use as a medium of exchange? Okay, that's the next question. The question is, I'll say the question again. The question is simply this. Iran was sanctioned by the U.S. and nobody could trade for them in dollars. The question then is simply this. Then what nation traded with Iran for oil, and what did they trade in? No. Okay, she didn't get it. Gold. Now, what was the nation?
The nations, China and Japan.
You named China. That was what? No, India. Okay.
So he's saying that China and India were the nations that bought
Oil
from Iran.
And they paid in what?
Gold.
Gold. $10.